Deion, I just want to point out, I asked you to create a constellation, and what you did was
the antithesis of a constellation.
You picked the literal infinite space between 2 points.
I understood the assignment question mark?
I guess. I guess.
Can you please describe for me your constellation? I am infinity and beyond.
I am the thing that prevents a constellation from ever being made. I am the space between 2 stars.
Everybody needs a therapist, as Deion's mother has blatantly, poignantly said. Everybody needs a therapist. That is just...
Oh yeah, that is her. And that is the platform on which she will be running for president. Everyone needs a therapist.
And talking as someone who has 3 mothers who have all struck out, who are terrible people, I love Deion's mother because she is a true mother. Just loving and caring and nurturing, strict at times when they need to be. Mothering when they need to be, a parent when they need to be, but also strong and independent and just truly and just great person in general. And I hope that your mom listens to these because I want her to know she is a great person.
Well, now I'm going to ask her to start listening to them so she can hear that. See what she's just going to call me crying one day.
Welcome to All Topics No Pizza, where we start with a single idea that add new topics until we forget entirely what we talked about, lose our compass, and have to use the stars to navigate our system. I am Matt, also known as Rhuminus.
I'm just Deion.
I am a festering ball of rage and hatred.
Well, welcome to the club, pal, because you haven't dealt with the shit that I've dealt with. In fact, I try that again. Except for the fact that you actually have dealt with the same shit because life sucks. So we're gonna talk about family for a second. Hold on, I cut you off. What?
No, I was just agreeing. Life.
Yeah. So actually, Nick has. I'm gonna be fair. Nick has dealt with the same shit. Most of us actually have. Deion has in the same way. So when I'm gonna preface this. When I started a podcast, when I started YouTube, when I started Twitch, when I started an online presence, one of the things that I didn't want to talk about was politics, was hot topics, was about family. Because the reason particularly about family is because I didn't want to, bash family. I didn't want to put these people, because they couldn't defend themselves, was my thing. If I had them on the podcast and they could defend themselves and they could talk their point of view and we'd have a civil conversation, that would be fine. But I don't want to sit up here and talk shit about people. But you know what? That's changed. And the reason that's changed is because I got shit in my mouth for something that was entirely fucking ridiculous. So I'm going to give a very short version of it. And I had talked about my mother in a previous episode. I talked about my dad and all sorts of family, and kind of there's this idea, and I've written 2 books. One of them is basically an autobiography that goes over my family that is shit. Probably about a month ago, I had gone to a funeral for my grandmother. My grandfather was there. He's my step-grandfather, but I'd been there, and I went there, and everything was generally fine. I showed up there. I hadn't talked to these people in years. And the reason being, they're fucking assholes. And that's the reason I don't talk to them anymore. That's the reason I moved halfway across the continent to get away from them. And the same thing with my brother and my nephews. And so, I went to the funeral. Everything was fine. I got, a few words of aggression, but I let it go because people were grieving. I let it go, whatever. I'm doing my duty. I wasn't happy about it. And the reason I'm kind of omitting a lot of details is because 1, I still don't want to talk about it. And 2, more importantly, it's going to hit harder when I fully release the details. I had gotten a call from let me rephrase that. My grandfather had called my brother, who's still on talking terms with, And we're talking, and my grandfather says, send me your address. It's good to talk to you again. Everything's good. And so I send him my address. He says, can you call me, please? And I do. And it literally, within 2 sentences, devolves into shit about how such an asshole I am, that I never talked to my grandmother, how I'm a fucking asshole, all these horrid, terrible things. And the entire time, I don't say a fucking word. The reason being is that I'm a grown-up, and I'm an adult, and I know that this man is grieving, and more importantly, anything that I say, anything at all, is never going to be appreciated. It's never going to be the proper thing, because these people don't actually accept reality. There was a point where he was talking, and the major points that I'm going to talk about are, you never called your grandmother, and you made it all about you, you think you're perfect, you never accept that anybody can be wrong, and so you know what? Fuck you. I don't care if you ever call me again. Go fuck yourself. I never ever want to hear you again. And I said, okay. I never said anything wrong to him. And I'm going to go into detail about a few things. One, the reason I don't talk about any of this is because he's a fucking asshole. And the reason that I don't like to do any of this is because I don't want that opinion that I am just sitting here shitting on my family. But you know what? These people don't have any introspection. This man complained about things that he never thought of my opinion. It was all about him. And yet he projected it on me. And that was my major problem, is that he never thought, how did I feel? And that is why my grandmother and I didn't talk for years. She kicked us out on Christmas Day. Literally, we were still opening presents, and she kicked us out and told us to get the fuck out, and she didn't want us anymore. And he had the gall to tell me that she was a perfect woman and that I was an asshole. That is my problem. My problem is particular, and I'm not going to go into too many more details because you know what? I'm not that type of guy. What I will tell you, family isn't everything. What is everything is the people who are there for you. Words are cheap. Actions mean everything. My friends are my friends because they are there for me. When I am down, they lift me up. When I am truly down, like they'll shit on me, they'll do it during the podcast, that's fine. But you know what? When I'm feeling down, when I tell them to stop, they stop because they respect me. When I tell them that I am feeling down and morose and that I'm just too depressed, they stop and they're there for me and they tell me good things about me and the good traits about me. That is not what my family does, and that is not why I talk to them. And I want you to know, if you're in that situation where you feel like you shouldn't talk to your family, have a good long look. Maybe you did something wrong, but also maybe they did something wrong. Try to have a conversation, and if they're not willing, you live your life the best way that you can. This is about you. This is not about them. You live your best life, and if they are upset about it, if they call you and tell you a piece of shit, ignore it. Because that's what I do, and I live a good life with my nephews, and that's all I care about. And I am done with my rant, because you know what? I'm not going to talk about anything else because I don't give a shit. It's not about me dunking on my family, because you know what? They do that enough themselves, and I'm done. I just don't give a shit. It's not worth the energy.
Small round of applause. Small round of applause.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Feel a little better, a lot better.
So yesterday I had called my brother, and one of the big things is my brother, and I told him every detail. A lot of the shit that I omitted, but I told my brother all the details, and he known. I mean, my brother's my brother, so he lived through the same thing. And my brother's like, I would disagree. I would tell you if I disagree with you, but you did what you were supposed to do. You did it maturely and honorably, and I feel better that I get off my chest, and I want people to know that. And that's the more important thing, is be you. And if people are upset about that, whether you're gay, whether you're any sort of the LGBTQ, whether you're whether you're a political party, or whether you're white or black, or whether you just live your life however you want, and people disagree with it, whether it's your family or not, fuck them. You live your life, and if you're happy, and more importantly, not hurting anybody else, I don't give a shit, and you shouldn't give a shit either. If you're happy, living your life, and not hurting anybody, that is the epitome of life. Because in reality, that's really all you can ask for in this dark, disgusting world that we live in, that is full of chaos and destruction.
Good. Glad to hear it.
So yes, I feel a lot better.
Deion, what's going on in the anti-capitalism racket? How are you doing burning the establishment?
I'm a staunch venture capitalist. I have no idea what you're talking about. The system works as intended, which is good for most people.
Deion showed up with portfolios and his graphs today.
Yeah.
Business Deion in the house.
It's like that meme. What do you got against whatever this is? I'm glad you asked. And then like an hour and a half text message, voice message.
It's like 5-hour long voice text. Oh, I saw Matt. I saw something that reminded me of today. It was French bashing. So I was like, oh, I wish I could share this with these guys. It was one of my favorite YouTubers had written about. So whenever he plays like an RPG, he puts his girlfriend / assistant and his cat in as the other two characters if as possible. And she's from France, and he wrote this blurb about her. And he just is like, it's originally from the barbaric, uncivilized foreign nation once known as France, but has since worked diligently to become a functioning member of real society or something like that. It was so good. I'm just like, thank you. And I saw something earlier like Monday or Tuesday that was just completely and utterly like I didn't expect it from where I was online. Just out of nowhere, just started bashing on French people, and I was just like, "This is the content that I live for." It was. I wish I had saved it because you guys would have loved it.
So the French language is experiencing a I don't know if you know this, but the French language has an unofficial. I don't know.
No, it's official.
They are, but they aren't. Like, the government has nothing to do with it, but they have a governing body around the French language
to protect the French language.
Called the Académie Française.
Since I think the 1600s.
So unlike English, which has no governing body, which is when people go, that's not correct. I'm like, who says who? That's not true. French actually does have that. French has a governing body.
And they're the only ones who still have that or have ever had that. I don't know which, but it's like, why? So there is I don't know if it's social or actually like a linguistic, like from other linguists push to have because everyone knows that the Romance languages are very gendered. So there's this push to have this gender neutral pronoun added to the French language, el. And they are writhing because every time someone publishes a book or makes an official announcement in French, they're like tracking it and making sure that they're speaking French properly, and they hate this.
My question is, who is doing this?
So they're trying to add a word to the dictionary officially.
Then to me, that is perfectly fine because that is actually how language works. Perfect. And continue on.
And the Academy.
I just wanted to clarify that for my knowledge because I'm completely unaware of this happening because fuck French. I don't pay attention to them because
they're dumb and useless. No, okay, not French. Okay, not all French people. Right. The language specifically is a dumb and useless language. I know. I just went a little bit far.
I know we're a French-hating podcast, but I don't really hate the French people necessarily.
Just the language is worthless addition to all the languages. And this is just like, why do you deal with this? Why do you allow this academy to exist in any functioning form? They've ruined publications of books over misuse of the French language, and they've been allowed to do that.
Right. So I'm reading. It seems that the Academy, their take on it is to add. I mean, it's the standard argument. It makes the language more complicated. They think it's an unnecessary complication for the sake of teachers.
That's not why they're doing it. That's what they're saying they're doing it for. The reason that this has sparked so much debate and even got on to be on international news is because a major dictionary actually just published it as a neutral piece. It's not because they were trying to, like I misspoke earlier. They just started putting this in their dictionaries as if to have changed the language already.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we've been hearing people use this. This is as far as we're concerned, this is official. And so it started sparking debates among among politicians and among I don't know what the French word for a linguist is, but it probably sounds dumb. And then the Academy, of course, who have the final say as far as they're concerned. Nick, you can talk more about that. I don't have any more information than that.
I'm not getting much more on it. It's just interesting that, here we have yet another bit of
reason,
yet another bit of proof that the French mindset is a little hoity-toity for our taste.
It's just like,
I'm being kind, France. Give me points here.
They will not.
It's not that it's...
That is not how they do.
You know, no.
They will not, and we will like
when
it.
it comes to the language, man, they are very particular, and it is very annoying.
Yeah.
What about how was your Tuesday before the Thanksgiving?
The fuck if I remember, man. I don't even remember my morning.
I don't know.
Well, you should remember. It's a really important day.
Hold on.
The Pentagon announced on Tuesday night that it was now officially forming the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group.
Can you make that an acronym for me real quick?
I tried. The best I could get is AOIMSG.
I wouldn't know
so
that they are fired. Go home. And I don't mean Nick and Deion. I mean everybody. Everybody who's listening, everybody in the world. You're fired, go home, sit down, and die.
So,
the human race is... We've gone past the point. We are done. This is over. We have National Donut Day. Now we have National UFO Day. What the fuck?
Yeah, for those who haven't pieced together what that whole string of nonsense means, the Pentagon basically said, we're looking into UFOs more seriously now. We're putting together a research crew. If you know one thing about the UFO hunting community, you know that they don't fucking trust the government. Literally, UFOs is conspiracy theory central. Like, don't expect to be seeing fans of the government in a UFO convention. If a man in black walks by, they all freak out.
Well, it looks like I just had a quick cursory, rudimentary search, nothing in depth. Makes it sound like they're only going to be really looking into things over restricted airspaces, especially airspace, including. Okay, so what is that? What is that?
So basically, the U.S. government has had readings of unidentified airborne objects for the past 7 years.
I can't wait until it's just teenagers the whole time.
I'm gonna Airborne Object Identification Management Synchronization Group announcement.
Just do the other one. It's much more funny.
Or
It's something my nephew would say.
All right, so from here on out, whenever you hear me make a horrible noise that is Aoimsk, just remember it stands for Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. Go. So the two takes are A.
It's Asiago. It's clearly Asiago.
The cheese?
The Asiago Group.
Cheese.
The two takes are either A, this is a government attempt to shut down transparency, which is something that's been going on for the past 20 years. Is basically,
I would say longer than that, but okay. I would say probably the last 60, 70
The
years.
transparency period has only been happening for the last 20 years.
Okay.
Because I can't remember who, but someone basically mandated it that the government had to start sharing that information with us. And then there's been political pushes a very long time. Anyway, so there's the belief that since disclosure has started, the government has been trying to scramble to get control over it and prevent it from happening. That's one take. The other take is they just don't want people to know what they're working on. And I'm just like, why is it always something rational but dumb and something completely irrational but way more likely? That is my problem with this. It is more likely that, yes, the government is using this as a means to hide something. What that is, I can't possibly begin to imagine because it's fucking stupid. But that's the point. That's the whole point of a psyop. That's the whole point of a psychological operation is, if we do something stupid enough, no one's gonna believe that we did it.
No one believes us anyway. Yeah, I checked. The Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. If you take all the letters, you can spell Asiago, except for the second A. But if you just, instead of manage, well, no, actually, yeah, if you count the and.
Deion ignored everything and said, how can I make cheese and dairy?
Asiago.
And then I don't give a shit about anything about UFOs.
Because it was just an off the cuff, like, oh, it clearly sounds like us. Airborne synchronization. Yeah, I see y'all go. You can do it.
Well, in a similar vein, that's actually very relevant. Is the conspiracy theories is I understand what this is about, but how can I make this turn into what I want it to be about?
Yeah, no. How can I make this more interesting for me?
Exactly.
Like, getting a booster shot is not interesting. But getting a booster shot and then claiming that the government is actually trying to hack into my DNA and clone me to then use as organ harvest farming, that's much more interesting. And then if I can connect it to the secret Jewish cabal, do you see the problem, people? This is what you can't do with conspiracy theory. You can't use it for yourself.
You, for sure. No, you can for sure make whatever adjective you want as long as it works.
Put marginalized group of people here.
That's where it's at. I just want to change. Let the turtles run in power. Let the fish control. I'm ready for a change. Let's go.
Give me a moment to verify what I'm reading.
Fuck the ocean. If you bring up the ocean one more time, that's getting censored too. The milk, the ocean, and is all out of the question.
Okay, I'm starting to think that
Why
having
am I
that
the
as
only
the
one that
sole
gets censored here?
editor,
Because you keep bringing up the milk and the ocean, and that is.
I'm starting to think that having a single editor is actually a bit tyrannical in nature.
So I typed in cryptid news.
Oh great, cryptid.
Just to see,
great.
just to see if there'd be anything interesting.
What SCP is not out there? What new?
No, not SCPs. Cryptids.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The real stuff.
I am completely different.
The real stuff. So my eyes were attracted to a news article from the Daily Star that said, and I'm not gonna bother reading this whole thing because I'm sure, based on the cursory glance, it's pretty fake. But I just like the title of this article: "Woman camping finds cryptid or pervert in a tree watching her tent at 3 a.m."
Man awakes at night to a murderer or imagination in his nightmare. More at noon.
More at noon. A clip by Mr. MBB333. A vaguely humanoid shape appears to be crouching in the fork of a large tree at 3 a.m. There are also people who thought it could be a cryptid. I mean, it's clearly just someone's home movie.
That bit on Elysium was pretty on the nose.
Yeah, no, it's
about the cryptid hunters. That was pretty good. I'm realizing
in that same cryptid news search, I also got another article from Kentucky.com that says Snoop Dogg and Bigfoot, the 14 best things to do in and around Lexington this weekend.
First of all, isn't Lexington in Virginia?
I wish you could see my
Tennessee?
face right now.
It's Kentucky, first of all.
Kentucky. They're all the same to me. Once you get past the original colonies, they're all the same to me. Second, I'm ignorant as fuck. Third,
apparently it's Lexington, Kentucky.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me considering there's Rome. I think it's a Rome, Georgia.
I'm making this a stand right now. We are also anti-Lexington, Kentucky, just for their stance.
All right,
just for
every
their stance
episode
on
we're anti somebody. We have to
sex.
alienate and anger somebody. That's
I am anti-Lexington, Kentucky.
I'm hoping to get more and more like obtuse groups, so we don't have to really.
We are the anti-podcast. We are against everything.
So please don't
not
subscribe.
I swear to God, if you like this video, I will find you. I will end you.
If I find out that you let someone else listen to this, oh my, I'm so mad.
As a matter of fact, what I want you to do is find somebody who is subscribed and unsubscribe them. Find someone who liked the video, unliked it. I want you to do the opposite of everything that I ever want you to do. Anyway, Lexington, Kentucky, go. What?
First of all, Lexington, Kentucky. I don't know what your Google search history is, but please don't do Bigfoot. That's not for that's sex abuse. That's animal abuse.
What?
I'm pretty positive.
Hold on, we're gonna go back to the sex abuse thing. So I'm a little confused.
Yeah,
because they're like Snoop Dogg and Bigfoot, the 14 best things to do in
to do. All right.
to do.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to come up
again.
I would be fine if it was like bowling and drinks, but no, you specifically named 2 individuals, and the modern parlance of to do an individual is sex. So once again, Lexington, Kentucky, please leave Snoop Dogg and Bigfoot alone. I don't know what weird relationship you have with these 2 individuals, but if you're from Lexington, Kentucky, we plead on behalf of Snoop Dogg and Bigfoot, stop sending them the messages and the tapes.
Snoop Dogg, if you ever want about our podcast, please, we welcome you with open arms.
Yeah, we want to know all about your relationship with
Nick.
Bigfoot.
Nick would love to smoke a joint with you, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely, dude. But also, I feel like that's a little on the nose. I'd also just like to bake with him, because, he's done that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get him and Martha in here.
Did you see the ad with him and Martha on the lighter?
Oh, dude, I love the lighters ad.
Was that a real ad?
For those who don't know,
Is that real?
Yeah, no, that's a real ad. We have them in
You're joking.
No, we have them. We have the lighters,
store?
and they have Snoop and Martha on them.
Oh my god. That's so
and I am just like, this is the best thing in the world. For those who don't, or who haven't seen it, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg now do Bic commercials. Side tangent. When was the last time lighters needed a fucking TV commercial?
Although I've never seen a commercial for them, everybody knows them. Tic Tacs, like everybody knows it.
I've seen.
Oh, they used to have commercials.
I've never.
Yeah, they used to have commercials.
Yeah.
I will preface this, like, I've never had cable since I've like 6th grade, so I've never really seen a commercial, to the point that I get Spider-Man all the time because Nick over here decided to let me know that Spider-Man was in Civil War, and I didn't see that commercial. I didn't see any advertisement because I don't see advertisements ever. Piece of shit.
Thank you, Deion. Thank you.
I do not know what this is.
I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. I just showed up. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't. Did I say it wrong? What's going on?
You keep saying preface.
Click the sound button.
I'm afraid. Preface. It's preface.
No, fair point. Language is fluid. And blah blah. Blah.
Which is why I didn't say anything.
This is a perfect example of garage in the UK. Garage and garage. Completely different pronunciations.
Preface.
Same fucking word. Preface and preface. No,
I think it's preface. It's preface. I'm just like, it's like you prefaced 3 things today, and you prefaced them by saying, "Let me just preface this," and it sounds like you're about to get drunk.
You're preface.
I'm already drunk. I don't want to hear it.
I'm already prefaced.
I'm already. I could drive. I'm not even driving.
It sounds like a portmanteau of pregame and shit face.
Yeah, pre-faced.
Let me get pre-shit faced.
First of all, you just said portmanteau. It's portmanteau. What is going on?
The reason that I say portmanteau, and I'm okay with being wrong here, I don't mind, is because EAU, in other words that I know,
goddamn French piece of shit.
Jeff, yeah, is pronounced you, like in beauty. So that's why I get it wrong, because I read the word.
I never.
My favorite bit of trivia about the word is that it itself is a portmanteau of 2 French words.
I don't even know what
portmanteau
portmanteau means, man.
Portmanteau.
So it means.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So it comes from the French porter, which means to carry, and manteau, which means mantle or cloak. So it's what you carry your clothes in. It means suitcase. The word means suitcase. Or a portmanteau is a word made by combining 2 other words, because that's what it is. They just didn't have a word for suitcase, so they just made one up, smashing 2 words together. And so then in English, so in French it means suitcase, and in English it means when you smash 2 words together to get a new word.
That's just German. That's just German.
So if you look at the dictionary definition, it says 1, noun, a large trunk or suitcase typically made of stiff leather or and opening into 2 equal parts. 2, a word blending the sounds and combining the meanings of 2 others.
There's so many German words that you could have used.
For example, motel or brunch.
Yes. And then obviously German has a word for this. I don't know what it is because this is all they do. This is their whole language. What's the word for this and this or this and that? It's this that.
What's
It's this that.
What's the German word for swamp rat? Bog mouse. You serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's what I love about German. German is very direct. It's very efficient.
Very
Compared to
straightforward.
French, which makes no sense, and they
I
don't pronounce
call
any
it
of their shit.
efficient.
German's
I would
like,
call it-
we know our word is like 17 years long, but if you break it down, it does make sense. You're like, I know it makes sense, but it's fucking impossible to say. You know that, right?
This is mouth vomit.
What's the German word for when you can't remember the word for a thing that you know how to describe? Oh, it's just that phrase in German.
It's just forgetting the word.
It's all the words you said
it's technically a
smashed
word by
together.
itself. And everyone will know this trivia that knows this word as well is that the term that you idiot, you dumbass, you baka,
Yeah.
is just it's a ridiculous looking thing. It's a horse. So the two characters are horse deer. So it's just something that looks so ridiculous that it's just unfathomable.
I did not know
a
that.
complete idiot.
I knew that baka meant like idiot or stupid, but I did not know that it meant like horse.
So it's because
deer?
the two characters are a horse. It's just horse and deer smushed together because they create such a ridiculous image. It's just like, this is stupid. This is so stupid. You are so stupid.
I did freelance translation for a bit. Anybody who would contact me about why is that so expensive? Like, because language cannot be translated word for word. You actually have
language
to
is not
translate it.
transmutable.
Yeah, you actually have to translate it into the literal meaning of whatever the horse deer, and then translate it into actual English in the way that we speak, because no one's gonna fucking understand horse deer. No, it means that you're a fucking idiot, is what it means. You have to translate
It's why like jokes don't work well in translation.
Oh, no,
it's
not
because
at all.
Unless you were really good
sometimes
translator.
Japanese jokes are predicated on the fact that two words sound almost indecipherably different, or
Because-
indecipherably the same.
because the language works. How the language works is so particular, and so Deion can explain this a lot more because he studied Japanese way more than I have. But the way the language works is so particular. English doesn't work like that. When you're trying to translate English works, or English jokes, or Japanese jokes, and try to translate them, you literally have to rewrite the entire thing to make it work because it just doesn't work.
Yeah, like especially so a good example of this that some people might be more familiar with is localizations for video games. So if you want to make a joke, you straight up will sometimes just have to change the entire joke because the literal translation just doesn't work. It's not funny because it's either like a pun, and obviously puns don't work in other languages for the most part, or it's like a play on words. Again, you got to just change the whole thing. Or you have to recontextualize a part of the script way earlier. So like a fun example that a lot of people know about are the localizations for Phoenix Wright games are really funny because in the early ones they changed the fact that they were going to a ramen stand, which is a really popular food truck basically in Japan. It's like you just have a ramen stand. They changed it to hamburgers for some reason.
Well, so
That's
because
American, right?
they didn't think
Burger,
that
bitch.
people would understand. Yeah, exactly. Like, but the thing is, that's while it's true that sometimes the cultural reference might not make sense in a new country. Some things are popular enough that you can just leave them. At one point, they go to visibly a ramen stand, like the one that's outside, where you just are outside,
no, I'm
and they
familiar
get a
with it.
hamburger.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Just say.
I can literally walk up to a street corner cart in New York and buy 6 hot dogs.
You shouldn't.
But they didn't translate it to hot dogs. That would have been fine too.
But my point is,
My
Americans
point is they
don't
did it
give a
wrong.
shit.
No, but guess the reason it's a meme. The reason it's even a meme is because it's so wrong. It's so there were so many options here, and they missed all of them so wide.
My target would be the like past between Edgeworth and, because that's the one I'm more familiar with. Is everyone knows that that's a weird translation where Wright just makes a comment about their past together that's weirdly sexually undertoned, and no one can understand why. And basically the why boils down to because the translators didn't know how to translate it well. And they translated it with a weird sexual undertone.
As someone
I gotta
who's
find the still
done
of this.
freelance translation, you often come to a point of like, how the fuck do I translate this shit? This doesn't make any sense.
They also had to deal with the animations, which they did have, and it's like, what is that face he's making? What do we like? Why is he blushing right now? What do we do with this? And it's like, because blushing even means different things in different cultures. So yeah, it's crazy how quick and easy it is to mistranslate something. I'm sure they had no idea this was going to become such a it's almost like it's almost had its own cultural effect on the games, you know?
Oh, I mean, there's the whole the dude who created it didn't expect there to be such a resounding development of the Phoenix/Edgeworth community.
No.
He like, the first game comes out and he's like, they're not gay, and then he sees the community who are like, they are absolutely gay. And he's like,
have you seen?
You're correct. You guys are correct.
Have you seen the ProZD where like he's like they're at a game company and an alarm goes off? And it's like they've just released like a new character like Toad Ed or whatever. And he's like, what's that alarm going off for?
Sex alarm.
Oh, that means that the internet already made it fucky. Yeah. He's like, we just released it 6 minutes ago. Oh man, that was kind of slow. Or something like that. It's like, it doesn't take long for the internet to just run with something.
There's a reason for the Rule 34. The Rule 34 exists for a reason. Horny people are horny. It's not a joke that 25% or like 30% of all internet sites are porn for a reason. People are horny.
You put enough horny monkeys in a room with enough porn ads. Given enough time, you'll have a really disgusting room full of horny
I don't want to go in that
monkeys.
room. It's going to be so sticky.
I love the horny monkeys.
Excuse me, what?
That was the point.
Man.
Well, I don't have much else. There's not been much development in the world besides.
In a week, there hasn't been much development.
And this world of exponentially increasing in technology, there hasn't been any development whatsoever.
Yep, none.
Nick, I don't mean this in a mean way. This is just funny to me. That is the whitest thing you've ever said.
Nothing.
Nothing's happened in a week, and I live in Maryland.
No genocides, no patricides,
no world war that's brewing up at
certainly
all.
No shootings.
None whatsoever. Russia hasn't tried anything.
We didn't even get into that stuff.
I have a question. I had a question, but I feel like either A, I've done it, or B, I don't want to do it.
I have one I don't want to do because it's just literally a bit from Family Guy that I was going to steal.
I got one for you. I got one, Deion, that I'll throw in for you so that you can mull whether or not you're going to ask that other one. What's your real zodiac sign? Not the zodiac you get from the stars or the placement you were born or anything like that. What's just the thing in all of existence that perfectly represents your existence? That if you pointed to the sky and made a constellation out of right now, it'd be that thing.
All of the zodiac signs are constellations.
Yeah, but constellation isn't the term. Constellation is the term for the piece of sky that it's in. The actual star pattern has a different name. Asterism. It's an asterism.
Oh, no, it's not. We've Englished this. We've Englished far enough away. So I'm gonna describe to you the thing that represents me. The constellation that I would choose, because it's the thing that represents me. We're all nerds here. I'm not ashamed of this. When I went through... When do you learn about this? Around like the second year that I had a Facebook page, and I learned that you could do this. I was in whatever math class they teach you about how asymptotes work.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I'm going to choose. Because I've always felt this, but I've been told this more than once, that people that are my close friends don't feel like they actually know me very well. Like one of my best friends, Ryan, says all the time, he's like, you say I'm your best friend and that I know you better than anybody, but I personally don't feel like I know you better than this other guy that I don't know that well. But that lines up with this other, like, I've always felt like people don't get that close to me. There's a limit to how much I've allowed people to get close to me personally. And so my Facebook page is like, well, I guess I'm not going to say the actual word, but it's related to asymptotes. So I don't want people to dox my page. An asymptote is what I would choose as the thing that I think describes me the best, because there is a hard limit. It's different for everybody because your function in my life is different.
Now, Deion,
so
I need you to take a moment because some of us are not math brains.
An asymptote is, I'm sorry, that was rude of me. Is, Matt, help me out. It's like the limit.
Okay, so
to how close a function can get to a certain
to
number.
put it and to put no,
I can't believe
it is the line on a graph
hold
which
on,
another.
Someone who's a math teacher who loves to put it in realistic standards that people can understand. An asymptote is when you see those two lines that come close to each other but never touch. So when they get close to each other and go fuck off.
That's not.
So to put it in mathematical terms, that's not at all close. But in realistic terms, but to put it in layman's terms that people don't give a shit about math, that's how you put it together. Because that's how you should. Because most people don't give a shit about math.
So basically, if you have a curve on a graph, and the curve goes off infinitely, an asymptote is that hard line
that will never cross.
That curve will never cross. It'll never become parallel. It'll get closer to it infinitely. So it's so small you can't even tell, but it will never cross that number.
Yes,
it's a line which you cannot cross. Thank you. Yeah, that's the graph I'm looking at. That you can't cross no matter what you do. So that's what I would choose an asymptote. That's how I feel like I've lived most of my life, for my betterment or for my worst.
Deion, I just want to point out, I asked you to create a constellation, and what you did was
the antithesis of a constellation.
You picked the literal infinite space between 2 points.
I understood the assignment question.
I guess. I guess.
Can you please describe for me your constellation? I am infinity and beyond.
I am the thing that prevents a constellation from ever being made. I am the space between two stars.
That's what a constellation is. It's all the space that the points.
Yes.
So yeah,
you somehow.
I have somehow made this infinitely more deep than it should have been. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry at all.
I don't even know where to point to the asymptote.
Wait. I am as sorry as I can be without actually being sorry.
You know what, Deion? You know what the beauty of it is? I can point to any constellation in the sky or asterism and be like, there it is, the asymptote of the sky. And they'll be like, where? And I'll be like, it's right there, in between each of the stars.
I've been told that I put the ass in asymptote.
Yeah, you put the ass in something.
I'll take that.
Matt, I don't know how, but I expect your answer will be less math-oriented.
And that's very true, despite being a math
Unless
teacher.
your constellation is the quadratic equation.
You asked me a very personal question, and I gave you my heart, and I'm being ridiculed.
I love it, but it's not without its humor.
My answer is the string theory, obviously.
Now explain for the layman. Now in layman's terms, explain in detail what that means.
My spirit animals. Laws of thermodynamics.
According to the second law of thermodynamics.
Fuck you guys. That was a good answer.
It is, which is why I'm just so
flabbergasted.
Head in hands. I'm just like, I don't
I answered that better than you could have ever dreamed of.
I don't know how we got here, and I don't
you
care.
do. You asked me directly how we got.
I don't know how I got to the infinite space between 2 points again in my life.
You're welcome.
All right, so your new constellation, Deion, Matt, whatever your name is.
We're doing this thing again.
Really got to go to the doctors about this. If anyone knows of a medical illness that makes me immediately swap two people's names, even when I'm not interacting with both of them at the same time.
We did it earlier together. We were just on a call alone. He's like, listen, Matt, I think we've started to occupy the same space and value in his mind.
No, I started editing the raft video, and I kid you not, when it happened 20 plus times of Matt, Matt, whoever the fuck you are, do this. I'm like, who are you talking to? No, Matt, Matt. Oh my god.
I think I'm getting Alzheimer's. It must be. Matt.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you haven't answered
your question.
Because Deion went for 30 years talking about his mathematical formula of how he's going to save the universe.
Talking about his asymptote.
Alright, so after looking at all 12 fucking signs, because there's 12 of them, Jesus Christ, because how dare there be 12 months in a year? Just ridiculous. Can't you just make it 1 month in a year? So for me, my sign is Virgo. And I've researched that my actual sign is Leo. But my sign that I ascribe myself to is Leo, because the weaknesses are shyness, worry, overcritical of self, all work and no play, which fits me to an absolute T. Is that I don't want to deal with the people. I work 19 to 20 hours a day. I am completely all work and no play, and I completely criticize myself over little things of people like, we didn't even know that was a problem. Like, I noticed it because it was me. That is who I am. Whereas Leo is supposed to be brash and just kind of like arrogant. That's just not who I am.
So Deion understood
Fuck
the assignment in one way.
I'm sorry. I was expecting you to come after me. That's my bad.
And Matt understood the assignment in a different way.
In a different way, and I think they were both pretty valid.
I'm gonna splice my video in case you ever insult me later on. I'm gonna just add it in there.
There's just gonna be there's gonna be that period, and I'm gonna say what I said, and it's gonna be you yelling "fuck you," and you're gonna cut out the part of you apologizing, so that no one understands why you just got aggressive for no reason.
People like, what the hell? He's just like 30 decibels louder than everybody else. What happened? But go ahead. Yes.
My zodiac is a early industrial era newspaper boy.
That's not a zodiac sign. That's a person.
I believe my exact statement was, if you want to claim that the entity that most represents your entire existence within this universe is a chicken salad sandwich, explain to me how that's your constellation.
I do remember that. Now that you said it. However, I'm going to think of a point that completely contradicts it later on, and I'm going to splice that in later. I'm going to have a comeback. Just wait for it.
Hence why the Matt understood it a different way. It's either a chicken salad sandwich or somebody's cum jar. You know, those weird fucking anime figurine cum jars.
I'm sorry, I just sobered up 100% by what you just said right now.
So we're gonna cut that out and have an actual goodbye.
Thanks everybody for listening. We've been off pizzas. It's been real, y'all, but
the show's canceled.
We've learned.
Tour's canceled.
We've learned that we suck as people.
Deion's been canceled. I've been canceled. Matt canceled.
And all different ways too. We've been diversely canceled.
This is the first and last episode. None of the episodes up to this point have even been uploaded. How would you feel if that was the case, Matt? How would you feel if everything I've been uploading to this point is just a dummy?
I'd be furious, honestly. The amount of work that I've done, literally staying up until like 2 a.m. to get up and work at like 6 a.m.
So glad I'm not
just
a bad
for someone to fuck me over. Oh my god, I'd be so mad.
Matt's gonna go and listen to all the episodes. It's just gonna be an hour.
Can I get a waffle? I just want an outro, please. Can I get an outro?
Thanks everybody for listening. We started with the fact that family is not everything, and ended up with the fact that the internet is quite horny, and we, just like you guys, have no idea how we got there either. We hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you next Thursday. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon page. Rhuminus, will upload to YouTube, and I've also published 2 books. You can support us that way as well, if you'd like. An asymptote is when you see those 2 lines that come close to each other, but never touch. So when they get close to each other and go, fuck off.
That's not... If you have a curve on a graph, and the curve goes off infinitely, an asymptote is that hard line
that will never cross.
That curve will never cross.
Come close to each other, but never touch.
That's not... An asymptote is that hard line
that will never cross.
That curve will never cross.
Come close to each other, but never touch.
That's not...
Alright, so, your new constellation, Deion, Matt, whatever your name is.
We're doing this thing again.
Really gotta go to the doctors about this. If anyone knows of a medical illness that makes me immediately swap 2 people's names, even when I'm not interacting with both of them at the same time.
We did it earlier together. We were just on a call alone. He's like, listen, man, I think we've started to occupy the same space and value in his mind.
No, I started editing the raft video, and I kid you not, when it happened like 20 plus times of Matt, Matt, whoever the fuck you are, do this. I'm like, who are you talking to? Matt. Oh my god.
I think I'm getting Alzheimer's. I must be.